I'd like to introduce you to a longtime friend of mine, someone who is in my first Finish Your Book group coaching program, Stephanie Shackelford.
Hi, Kitty. It's great to be here.
Thanks, Stephanie. I'm so glad that you didn't mind stopping in and just sharing a little bit about your experience. You were in the pilot program, actually, of Finish Your Book group coaching. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about your experience before you started, some of the challenges you were facing that you were hoping the program would help you with.
Yes, as you know, we've known each other for longer than both of us probably want to admit, and I've been working on a project for that long. And well, I say working, it got shoved into the closet for a lot of years, but part of the struggles that I was having was believing in that I could do it. And that year working with you helped a lot. As all your friends know, you were very encouraging. So that was a big thing with me, just that encouragement that I could in fact do the things that I wanted to do.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that. I have to say, it is one of the things that I feel like God's given me this gift. I have to use it. Who can I encourage today?
You definitely are an encourager. That is definitely one of your superpowers.
Yes, I've got my writing shirt on today.
Yep.
And actually, it's interesting because the reason I wear these writing shirts, a lot of it has to do with some of the same things that you were talking about. Like the mental challenges that we have are often the biggest
Mhm.
ones. They're not always the biggest ones for everyone. They're not always the biggest ones all the time. You were saying at one point you just put the book away for a little while. And I know that you've moved around the country and the world a few times, as well as same as me. So, there's that too. But as far as the challenges that were in your head, what do you think one or two of the challenges were that you were hoping that the group coaching would help with?
Okay, hang on. My cat needs to get settled before she gets into the camera. Um, so my biggest when I signed up for that year with you, my biggest challenge was believing in myself. I'd I'd been through some difficult times and I had gotten to the point where I didn't think that I could accomplish anything, that I was able to finish anything. I mean, obviously, I'd been writing for years and never published anything. That's not completely true. I published articles. I wrote consistently on a blog for several years, but I didn't see that. I didn't feel that at that particular time. And you working with you helped me just to do a little bit each day. We talked about whenever we would meet, you'd talk about what did I do, and I would tell you what I did, and that constant consistency helped me to realize that I can do it. That yes, it's a whole lot of work to get a book ready to for others to read it and enjoy it and see the story that I envision, but that I could do it. And that was the biggest thing, was the believing in myself, and then coupled with that, the consistency to do something towards the writing every day, even if it wasn't actual writing, because there's been a lot of times when I've spent time studying structure and how to tell a good story that has then translated into success in creating what I'm seeing in my head, creating it on with the written word.
That's wonderful. And can you tell us a little bit about the successes that you have seen and the ones that you expect to be seeing in the near future?
Oh well, the success for that year was I actually got the whole story written.
Yay!
The whole story was written, and all the plot points were where they needed to be, and the story had the tension. It wasn't perfect. I knew that there was a lot of editing that needed to be done, but I also discovered that it was way too big to be published as one book. So then I had to figure out what was I going to do? Was I going to edit it as it was and make it even better, make it better, and then try to sell this huge tome as a first book or what? And I finally decided that I was going to break it into three, which meant there was going to be a whole lot more work because I had to turn each book into a standalone, not with a cliffhanger. You got to buy the next book in order to know the story, but a true satisfying story in each book that also told the whole story that I wanted to tell, but had those three standalone stories. So that's what I'm doing, working on now and getting closer. But I never would have had the ability to believe that I could do it once I had realized that it was too big. If it hadn't been for your encouragement, I would have just said, oh, well, I just can't do it. Obviously, I'm a failure. So, but
Aw.
I'm not.
No, you're not. And I happen to know that talking to you right now, that book one is going to be very close to publishable. It's almost certainly going to come out in 2023, isn't it?
Almost certainly. Well, no, not almost. I'm going to say certainly.
There you
It's
go.
certainly going to come out. It's almost certainly going to come out in the first half of 2023.
Excellent. I am so happy for you. I really am so happy for your successes. And I'm really also grateful that you put your faith in me as someone who could help you and guide you through this process so that you didn't give up and you would have success.
I'm very thankful for you as a friend and as a coach.